Welcome back to a brand new video. In this one, we're going to talk about a new NFT project that goes by the name of the Block Times. Now, the actual project name is the Real Block Times, and further in the video, I'll explain why I'm saying the Real Block Times and not the Block Times. This is the first ever NFT newspaper. So, just like people have this hobby of collecting newspapers, especially of important events, it's just the same, but they're converting it to digital artwork. So anyone who is interested in a particular event and they want a newspaper NFT for it, the artists are going to do the artwork, and the user who is going to buy or mint the NFT, they get to choose which news they want in that NFT. So that is a very unique concept, which we definitely can see it becoming successful. Although if you take a look at the overall market, no matter how successful the idea is and how much chances of success it has, of course, the market has a huge say in whether the NFT collection is going to be successful or not. Currently, we're facing a 44% decline from the previous quarter in terms of the market capitalization of NFTs. But majority of the reason is because of the overall market, which is acting uncertain and unpredictable. But just like we have that phenomena called buying the dip, in which you buy the tokens when they're lowest and then you sell them when they are at the highest, the same phenomena is compatible with the NFTs as well. And currently we're in the dip because it cannot go more lower than this. Right now the demand is at the lowest because usually we have seen the NFT market skyrocketing during or after the altcoin season, when people have generated a lot of profit and gains, and they use a portion of that profit to invest in other I would say other areas, and that is where they start focusing on the NFTs. So that is when the NFT market starts skyrocketing. The prices of NFTs are increased exponentially, but of course you're not going to benefit from those price increase during that point during that season. If you want to benefit from it, you will have to buy the NFTs right now. Of course, you will have to determine which project, which NFT collection has more chances of succeeding. Now, the story that I'm going to explain in this video, which is very serious in nature, it actually will establish significance for this project, for this NFT collection, and you'll actually see what the whole story is behind, which, like I said, it is much more serious than you may think. Now, we knew from day one that the world governments and corporations, they don't like blockchain. They don't like cryptocurrencies. I think the answer is pretty simple. These governments, they enjoy practicing control. And the biggest control is the monetary control. You control the finances, you control the currency. But crypto and Bitcoin, let's say Bitcoin, because it is at the forefront of the whole crypto market, it gave a different way for people. It gave them the financial freedom because it's not tied to the governments. They don't control it, they cannot control it, although they have tried very hard to regulate it, to somehow restrict it, to ban it. Although it has not stopped and it is not going to stop, eventually they will have to accept it, and maybe at one point they're going to endorse it. But right now they're trying to fight it. And they are punishing anyone who is endorsing or supporting Bitcoin. Now, this is the story behind the creator of this project, of this NFT, who came up with the idea of these NFTs. The person who we're talking here is actually the financial advisor at JP Morgan. He worked there, I think, from 2016 to 2019. But what happened was he had Loan Care LLC as mortgage servicer. They voided the contract with him and they tried to take his home away because he used Bitcoin as a payment method on his eBay account for his legal business, for his LLC. That is what he did. And because of that, the Loan Care LLC, they voided the contract. They tried to take away the home of the person and his mother. And it put him at a very strange and difficult situation where all his 15 years of experience as financial advisor was gone. They were almost homeless. There were people coming into the house trying to buy it. So it created, I think, one of the worst times that they had to experience. And all of it for what? Because he used Bitcoin. That's it. Currently, he did file a case against Loan Care LLC in the Supreme Court in Nevada. And how he managed to pay for the for the lawyer fees and so forth is actually pretty interesting. He had this card, the NFT card of God's Unchained Mythic card, which actually we have a press release for it. He had this, and he sold this card, this Citadel, for $76,000, and that is what he used to fund the case, because of course that company, it is valued, loan care LLC, that is valued at $12 billion. That's such a huge industry, and then we have a one single person fighting this war at different fronts. So he used this NFT. He sold the NFT. First of all, it created a strong precedent for his case, and he used the money to fund his case in the Supreme Court. Currently, we have the lawsuit one, and the lawsuit two is coming, which is going to be much bigger than the previous one. Now, we don't know what the outcome of it is going to be. There are a lot of details into it. He actually wrote emails, and there will be interviews. Actually, personally, I will be doing an interview with the person. I personally talked to him, and I will be doing an interview with him and probably his mother too as well. His ambition and his bravery, honestly, I'd say it must be saluted, especially for those who are interested in crypto, who have advocated crypto. He is actually a living embodiment of what a genuine and a true believer of blockchain is supposed to be, because blockchain is about the financial freedom to that is completely opposite of what fiat is. And of course, anyone who's practicing this freedom will at some point will be punished by those who wants control, and that is actually what we're saying happening. So we have different articles written on it, and he personally wrote an email which should be somewhere here. There I actually have a link tree which has almost all the articles and press releases about it, which explains everything, what happened, what he went through, and so forth. And even in these tough times, he is still advocating for crypto. He's advocating for blockchain and the freedom, the financial freedom that it provides. And he's actually living it. He sold that card, that NFT, to fund his case. And then he had this idea about the NFT newspapers, which he launched. But because he was dealing with the cases and he had the disability, that project was taken away by someone who he worked with. So he is now creating that very own project on his own, which you can see is the real block times. That's what I'm saying. This is the real block times, which is actually good because he is revitalizing this whole concept, which is different from what the previous idea was. So this is where this project is going to come into life. We are going to have a website that will be launched soon, and we'll see how it goes from there. But this whole story is absolutely amazing. It really shows the bravery of this person, and of course his love for his mother, who's still sticking together. And maybe I'll be doing the interview with both of them, so we'll have much more to talk. These interviews will be coming out shortly on different news outlets, and different news websites, and I wanted my outlet to be one of those who are the first one to publish about this news, which of course is very serious in nature, but it shows what crypto is all about, what blockchain and what Bitcoin is all about. And if you take a look at it from an investment point of view, this story is something that is going to make news, and that is what's going to give significance to these NFTs. The more news that this story makes, the more eyes there will be on the project, on that this person is creating, and that will actually increase the demand for these NFTs. And we know that demand equals value. So from an investment point of view, I think for anyone who wants to take the chance, they can really capitalize on this. My suggestion to you guys will be to follow him on Twitter. This is the page that we have. Actually, his alias is the Chosen Mortal, which his name is actually written in the case filings as well, which I've given a read. It took me all night to go through all the case files, and he gave himself the name the Chosen Mortal because he's currently being targeted by a lot of government entities and of course the Loan Care LLC. So he has a lot of pressure. Of course, that is pretty much expected because we have a company that is valued at $12 billion, and then you have one person. But most people I know would have backed off a long time ago, but this person hasn't, and that is something that should be admired. If you want to support him, this is his Ethereum address. He also has his GoFundMe, and this is his Twitter. I would say show your support as much as you can. Show your support if you want to on his Ethereum address, on GoFundMe, or just follow him on Twitter. Listening to the story, I think that provides really good support to anyone who's going through such a time. Now, to conclude this video, I would say first of all, shout out to the person, Jeffrey Wills, who is the person who's fighting the case against Loan Care LLC, and also the person who's behind the real Block Times newspaper NFTs. And also shout out to his mother, who he very much love and who has supported him in these tough times, who I will be interviewing. So if you have any question that you want to ask them, make sure that you put them down in the comment section, and I'll make sure to ask them in the interview. And if you want to support him and also the project, this is the Twitter page that you need to follow. I'll give you guys the link that will be in the description. The project that will come out, the NFT newspapers, it has high chances of success because this story definitely, you can tell, is one that is going to become popular. And once it get picked up by people who are advocating for cryptocurrencies, when it's get picked up by crypto influencers, it will get more and more exposure. And when it does, this is where we will be able to capitalize. So we definitely have an incentive here. But yeah, this is all of you guys in this video, and I'll see you guys in the next one shortly. So stay tuned.